These are going to be the best affordable e-bikes in 2025. Tuttio Solio 01. I don't know if I'm saying that right. $12.99 shipped straight to your door. You can get them on Amazon. Top speed 37 miles an hour. 2,000 watt motor. Got a 48 volt 21 amp hour battery, which can get you about 45 miles of range depending on the speed you're traveling though. So the controller on this one is a 70 amp Fardriver controller, which gives you the option to tune it. If you pick up a Bluetooth dongle, I'll leave a link down below where you can pick that up. Much that allows you to unlock the bike, make changes that you want to make, and you're no longer limited to the factory specs. I don't really think it'll change too much of top speed or anything, mainly because of the battery that's in it. It does allow you to change the throttle response, which is pretty nice. Allows you to change the torque curve and a whole bunch of other things. There's a whole in-depth video I can link down below that pretty much explains what you can do with the Fardriver controller. All these modified razors. Most of them are running Fardriver controllers, if not the Electro & Co. 14 front, 12-inch rear tire, more of an off-road setup. Hydraulic forks in the front, mono air spring shock in the rear, and you can adjust it as well. So you do get hydraulic brakes, which is a big thing on these. The whole entire bike only weighs 105 pounds, so if you're kind of worried about weight or just transportation, throwing in the back of the SUV should be pretty easy with these. The weight limit of this bike is 264 pounds is what it'll support, so pretty much you could probably squeeze a 300-pound rider on here. They'll be fine. Now range will be heavily affected by that. As far as charging, you're looking at 7 to 8 hours from completely dead to fully charged, ready to go. Top speed about 40 miles an hour, about 25 miles of range if you're holding top speed of 40 miles an hour. If you're cruising around, just kind of chilling, you're looking around 43 miles of range. Again, retail on this is $12.99. This is probably going to be the best bang for buck. You can build a razor and get a bunch of parts for it and make it perform extremely well, but you're looking about 3K into something like that, where this just right out of the box, $12.99, gets your feet wet, gets you ready to get out there and hit the trails. And because it's got the Fardriver, you already have the option to tune, so that makes it a pretty good sell where you can ride it around stock, get tired of it, pick up the dongle, get in there and start messing around with the settings and fully tune the bike. And then once you get tired of that, look at battery upgrades and you're pretty much ready to rip. Depending on the battery upgrade, you might have to upgrade your controller, but it's a whole different subject. There's a bunch of other bikes in that $1,200 $1,400 price range, but I feel like they're just overhyped, to be honest. A lot of these Amazon bikes, they're just not really that great. $1,300, they're essentially all the same bike, just kind of rebranded and a few things different. The Solio 01 from Amazon, I feel like is the best bang for buck that I've seen, and especially from people are already ordering these things and riding them. Mototech is another option. I just didn't want to cover it in this video just because I just mainly wanted to show you guys these 3 options that are turnkey, ready to go, proven, ready to rip. I didn't want you guys to have to get a Mototech or get anything else and then start to have to upgrade it and just keep throwing money into it. So yeah, that's my reasoning. So we're on to the second bike. Now we are doubling the budget from the first bike. So from $12.99, we are jumping up to $29.99. And I know that seems like a lot, but these are the 2 cheapest ones, and the performance you get out of them is just amazing. All right, so the second one on the list, the Rawr Mantis X 72 volt. Rawr Mantis X is coming in at $29.99. 72 volt battery, 19-inch front, 17-inch rear tire. This one's going to have a lot more power than that 60 volt. So if you're a bigger rider or a more experienced rider, this one's probably going to fit you better than the Mototech or than the Tuttio. This bike is going to come with a 7119 in the front, which is the same size tires like a Sur-Ron Light BX, and then you're going to get a 9117 in the rear. More of a dirt bike setup. 4-piston hydraulic brakes on this as well. Unfortunately, they are going to be the mineral oil brake. Expect to bleed them a little more. Expect to get brake fade and lose pressure in your lever a little more quickly on them, especially with aggressive riding and just overheating the brakes and stuff like that. It's just going to wear that down a little quicker. So if you want to look into upgrading the brakes in the future, or just kind of stay on top and change out your mineral oil as often as you can, that will kind of alleviate most of those issues. 220mm rotor in the front, 203mm in the rear, pretty standard setup, so they're pretty nice brakes. The only downside is that mineral oil. They claim 62 miles of range at 15 miles an hour, 34 miles of range at 40 miles an hour, charging time 3 to 5 hours, so pretty quick. So we're looking at 3,000 watts of power with a 50 mile an hour top speed, and that is a pretty gnarly number for a bike of this size. We're looking for something with enough power and not having to upgrade anything, this is definitely going to be a good option for 72 volt straight out of the box. To put it in comparison, if you wanted to ever upgrade battery, like just a separate battery alone, the exact same one that comes in this bike is like $1,700. So it's like pretty much half of what the bike costs. So keep that in mind if you're just going to buy something now because you can afford it and upgrade it later. Just remember what it's going to cost to upgrade that battery before you make that decision. So just looking over the bike, pretty much, it looks like a solid bike. I've seen them. I've never had the opportunity to ride them yet, but for the price, I spent around $2,500 in total for everything. And that's not including like specialty tools that I had to buy to build my Razor. And like looking back, if I could have just bought this for the $3,000 I roughly have invested, I probably would have just done this. But most likely I would have done the next option that I'm going to show you guys right now. The Eride Pro Mini. This one is also coming in at $29.99. It's a head-to-head contender with the Rawr Mantis. They're pushing 47 miles an hour top speed, and you're probably wondering why is that lower than the 72 volt option. Sadly, the Eride Pro Mini is a 60 volt option. Same 30 amp hours, but the range is going to be affected, and then also the power and subject to change also for, terrain conditions. So with the top speeds being, not drastically lower, but, a good bit lower, looking at 47 versus 53, 60 volt 30 amp versus 72 volt 30 amp, 40 miles of range versus what they claim 62 miles of range. All these factors come into play, but the main reason why I would still pick the Eride Pro today, or the Eride Pro Mini today, is the weight. The entire weight of the Rawr Mantis is 139 pounds. The entire weight of the Eride Pro is 107 pounds. That's what they're claiming. I'm not sure. You can correct me on that. I'm not sure if they're claiming that without the battery or with the battery. That is hella impressive. If that is with the battery, that is hella impressive. They were able to get it down to 102 pounds. The main thing as well, though, the max weight that it will hold on the Rawr Mantis is 220. So if you are bigger than that, you're going to run into issues with bottoming out, destroying that shock, or having to put more money into upgrades immediately. The max weight limit for the Eride Pro Mini is 302 pounds. So even if you're nowhere near that, that's going to benefit you because the suspension is stiffer in the rear and gives you more flexibility with tuning it. You'd rather want it a little more on the stiff side than way too soft for you. So if it is too stiff for you, you just back it down and just go in increments of one until you kind of find what fits for you. Front suspension too is they're coming factory with Fast Ace, which is probably one of the best two in the game right now. So that is pretty solid that they're coming factory with Fast Ace suspension. You are going to get regen braking on the Eride Mini as well. Pretty standard option. Charge time on the Eride Mini though, 2 hours. So extremely quick. You can go for a 40-mile rip in the morning, plug it in, and then do it again for lunch, plug it in, and probably do it again at dinner if you really wanted to. There's 2 foot peg locations that you can mess around with and see which one fits you better. So let's get into it a little bit. It says, ultimate peak power, 6 kilowatt peak, 60 volt 30 amp hour, 40 miles of range, 2 hours charge time, 1412 setup, so more of an off-road racing or more of a motocross setup. Fast Ace suspension in the front, super dope. Regen braking. It says unit weight 107 pounds. We're just gonna have to see. Someone's gonna have to weigh this thing because that's gonna be crazy if this entire thing with the battery weighs 107 pounds. Like, that's gnarly. Picture the front end. It looks like it has a little bit of a 3-inch riser bar already in the front, kind of like the 2.0s do. So yeah, I would go, even today, I would go with an Eride, but I am kind of an Eride fanboy. So we are back with the New Year giveaway. Thank you guys so much for participating in the last one. This time we are doing the anodized purple. These bars are dope. Thank you guys for participating in the last giveaway. We had over 50 entries. So just like the last one, all you got to do to enter this giveaway is like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment that you would rock these bars. I will announce the winner on February 10th. That gives you guys an entire month to enter to win these bars. I will be posting throughout this entire month as well, so even if I don't mention the bars in the next video, if you comment on the next videos, I want those bars, those will still count as well for this giveaway. So on the 10th of February, I'll go through every single comment, copy and paste them into a random name generator or a random name selector, select a random one of you and then have you guys reach out to me via Instagram or something like that so I can get these bars shipped to you guys at no cost. I really appreciate you guys watching. These are just the top 3 best affordable e-bikes in 2025. Let me know if you guys like this style of content. Remember to like, comment, I would rock these bars, and subscribe to the channel to get entered to win these Warp 9 bars in purple. So yeah, I'm gonna go fuck off now.